Hey, we weren't worried, were we? We're back. Come on, let's celebrate. Open your cans, everybody. No, it's not even Diet Coke. It's Coke Zero. Celebrate. We're back. Delicious and refreshing. Coke Zero. I know it's been a few days. Much apologies. The computer is fixed, maybe. And we're back. And we're in the Championship. Hello and welcome to part 53 of the Bolton Battle. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have our first game in the Championship away against Sunderland. Bolton Wanderers are now officially back where they were at the start of this save 24 seasons ago. We've done it, we're back. Now part 2 of the job begins and we need to get them back. Well, we need to get the highest ever league position for Bolton Wanderers, which I think is second in the Premier League. So basically we need to go and win the Premier League now. It's taken us 6 years to get this far. 6 years' time, European champions. I'm calling it now. What a busy, close season it's been. This is why it's taken a little bit longer for me to get back than I expected, because once I got my computer fixed, I then had to play a very long closed season, which, as well as all the Bolton news, involved me becoming USA manager as well. So there was no interview, there was no application. I just got a job offer in my inbox. Do you want to go and be USA manager? And you know, they offered me decent money, $2,000 a week. It's more than I'm on at Bolton. It's only a 1 year contract to begin with. No, 2 year contract. Well, that's not right. I didn't start it a year ago. I started it just now. That's weird. No, that's my Bolton contract. What? I don't understand. Anyway, we're a USA manager as well, so there'll be some international football every now and again. Probably no qualifiers or anything, but assuming there's an American equivalent of the Euros, well, probably is, and the World Cup if we get there, you'll see all those right here on Lollujo FM. But it has been a very busy summer. As you can see, the bank balance is looking a little bit healthier now because we've been given a big pile of cash for being up into the Championship. I am still a little bit worried that we're moving into the new ground at the end of this season. We have got one more year playing at the Macron Stadium with its 28,000 seat capacity before we move into the ridiculously small Nat Lofthouse Park, which hopefully will be expanded the moment we move in. I mean, really, they should be making plans to make that bigger now, because our average attendance last year was bigger than that. But, you know, there's no talking to these people, this crazy board. And it has been a very busy summer, transfer-wise. We'll start with the outs, and we say a goodbye and a thank you very much to some real Bolton Wanderers legends. Bolton Wanderers legends, you say? I'm going to get out the way for a minute. Non-league to legend is complete, everybody. David Chapman is a Bolton Wanderers legend. But, as I was saying, Bolton Wanderers legends, not just me. We say goodbye and thank you very much to Aidan Grant, who was very important when he came in League Two, scored some important goals, certainly that kept us up in League Two in our first season in the division. Has been very much a bit part player ever since, but goodbye and thank you, Aidan Grant. LBC as well, been around even longer, massively important. Came in our second season in the National League, helped us win the league. No, we didn't win the league, did we? No, I think we did win the league, didn't we? And was also a useful player for us in our first season in League Two, but again, hasn't really featured ever since. Matthew Crabb is on his way as well, 28 years old. Don't know why I'm telling you his age. It must be relevant. He was very important in our first season in League Two again, but obviously not played since Jordan Barrett's been at the club, and it is with a heavy heart and a sorrowful feeling that we say goodbye to the legend that is Eggs. We saw him play on the last game of last season, conceding a big hatful of goals. I hope he ends up somewhere. I'd hate to see Eggs leave the game completely. I mean, he's played over 200 career games. He's not doing too badly. So much fun. I won't say he was important, but he was fun. And will we ever have a goalkeeper who points at goals going in quite the way Eggs does? And I'm glad we got to see him play one last time to say goodbye to him. Alan Mitchell and Rod Sinnott have moved on as well, but we don't really care about them. They never really did very much. So moving on to the ins. And we are very heavy on the defenders because all of our defenders were pretty much rubbish. So we've brought in quite a lot of defenders, starting with Andrew Manning, 26 years old, came in for actual cash money funds from fellow Championship side Oldham, £24,000. Been a bit of a bit part player. Don't know whether he's going to come straight into our team, but certainly we'll be in and around the first team squad. I mean, he might be fairly slow, but look at the strength. Look at the strength on this man. Looking forward to having him in the side. We've also got Suleimani Madihali, 33-year-old Comoran. I don't know what that means. He has also come in with some Championship experience, played for Stoke and Swansea. Had a little bit of a go at the Premier League, but never really made it into Swansea's team in the Premier League. Has been at Gillingham in League One for the last couple of years. He's going to come in probably as a backup player, but a useful guy to have around. Martin Colling is just a backup goalkeeper. We don't need to worry too much about him. Robert Webber, probably going to be a backup striker for us, 28-year-old Welsh player who comes in from Millwall, having been regular-ish in. I mean, he's not really played a huge amount of goals, but I think he's going to be quite a handy backup striker to some of the other guys that we've kept at the club and also brought into the club over the closed season. Victor Nwankwo is another backup goalkeeper, 18 years old. He came in from Spurs and has got bags of potential, could end up being the best keeper at the club. As it is now, he'll just probably go out on loan if he hasn't already. He hasn't yet, but he will do soon. Rob Tierney, the oldest of our new signings, a 35-year-old centre-back. We're bringing in some old men at the back for a bit of experience, but look at the career that this guy has had. Over 300 games, over £5 million in transfer fees. He's been playing regularly in the Championship for the last 15 years. For the likes of Swansea, Leicester, Cardiff, QPR, West Brom, Brighton, Bristol City and Barnsley. Bags of experience, going to be very handy tutoring some of our younger players, as well as before his legs go, he'll be in and around the team as well. Jason Ward is probably the big mistake of the summer. Northern Irish, 25-year-old. My scout said he was going to be good. He's never played outside of Ireland. And he's actually pretty rubbish. The one good thing he's got going for him is he can play on the left wing. So if we have to change our system around, we actually have someone who can play wide on the left now. More experience at the back now. Helio, 34-year-old Brazilian left back, left wing back, centre back. Another one who's been at Barnsley, lots of Championship experience. Probably not going to go straight into the team, but if we have to go to a flat back four, he's another option for us and would allow us to push Tom White forward. That's right, Tom White's still here. In fact, all of the loanees are back. They don't show up on this screen, but White, Alonso, Parnell and Durant are all here for another season on loan. They don't show up on this screen, but they're here, and that's massively important. Tom Adams is just going to be a young midfield player, but he's able to play on the right. So if we do get to the point where we need to play wide midfield, we've got him to do that. Patrick Buckle is probably a defender that we didn't really need. We were probably wasting money at this point, but I got a bit excited bringing defenders in. He's 27 years old. Played a bit around League One. Going to be a backup for us probably, but a handy backup to have. Leandrinho, 27-year-old. We've got a Brazilian striker. He's a good one as well. 4-star current ability. Has been at Barnsley for the last couple of years. Don't be alarmed by 1 goal in 14 games. He only started 1 game, so he's not really got into their side, but he has scored goals for Levante in Spain. And I like having a Brazilian striker. What of it? Dennis Parnaby brings a bit of experience into the midfield. He can play as a defensive midfielder or a central midfield player, 30 years old. Again, lots of experience playing League One Championship football and over 300 appearances in his career. So he'll complement our midfield. And then the big one, the one we spent all the money on, our record signing so far, and also the first player to be renamed based on one of my Patreon backers. If you don't know what I'm talking about, head to patreon.com/Lollujo FM. If you're in for $10 a month or more, we rename a member of the first team squad after you, and of course give you a thank you. So thank you very much to Joey LeBlanc, and if that is your real name, you're my new hero. But Joey LeBlanc comes in, 25 years old, spent lots of money on him. He's come in from Bradford. He is a top quality defender, our record signing, and perfect. I mean, he's just the perfect choice for our inaugural Patreon-sponsored name player. I can't even remember what his real name was. His real name's Joey LeBlanc, and we won't have anyone say otherwise. So, after all that, the team that we are playing in our first game of the season today, which is away against Sunderland. I don't know how good Sunderland are. they've been a Championship team for 20 years. They're not a newly departed Premier League club then. So this is the team that we're going to be playing. Anyone who is wondering when we're going to do the review of the thing that we talked about, at the end of this season, we're going to do a look back at all the different clubs. Lots of people have asked me to look at different clubs for them. We'll do it at the end of this season because that'll be 25 years of this save then. I was going to do it this summer because I couldn't count, but it will be next summer. So sit tight for that. So our team for today: in goal, Jordan Barrett, still at the club, still looking rather good actually. He's probably not a top goalkeeper at this level, but he's done us good for the last couple of years, and we'll continue to do so this season if we can't find a better option. And as we've spent all our money, it's not likely that we will. A completely new look back three, because all of the defenders we had at the club before were rubbish. Pants has gone back to Everton. I think that's where he came from. And the others just weren't ever going to be good enough for the Championship. They were glorified League Two players who were doing all right in a League One team that just scored a lot of goals, so it didn't matter that the defence was rubbish. So our back three is going to be Joey LeBlanc, Tierney and Madehali, with Helio and Patrick Buckle are all on the bench. So we've got plenty of options at centre-back. Tom White is going to be starting at left wing-back. Hopefully he's going to repeat the form that he's had for the last 2 seasons and just race up through the leagues with us. Wouldn't it be ridiculous if we won promotion again? And Glenn Jennings starts at right-back today. Probably our longest-serving player, certainly longest-serving first-team player, was with us down in the National League, has seen 3 promotions at Bolton now, and he's in the side because Enrique Alonso starts the season injured. He's torn his groin muscle and he's going to be out for another few weeks. In midfield, we've got John Durant returning again for another year alongside new boy Dennis Parnaby. John Jones, probably the weak link of the squad now. We could do with another attacking midfield player. I haven't yet been able to find one. Wayne Pennock might slot into that role at some point. Not today because he's nowhere near match fit, but possibly we're going to stick Wayne Pennock in there at some point. And then Mark Parnell back again for another season, and he will partner today the Brazilian superstar Leandrinho up front. Has he got fun hair? Not really. We can't have a Leandrino haircut then. Long time non-league to legend people know what I'm referencing there. And then we've got on the bench Connor Key, Semedo, Lee Martin is still around as well, and then one of the new boys in Robert Webber makes up the numbers on the bench. So I'm fully expecting to get absolutely battered today because there are still a lot of players in this squad who really, if you really had to be honest, are probably still League Two players. Certainly Jennings, John Jones are the main ones, but hang on, what have we got here? Let's move this across a little bit. But even someone like Jordan Barrett, and maybe even some of the new defenders who've not played at this level before. Barrett's probably a League One keeper, realistically. The likes of Durant and Parnell never tested at this level. Tom White never played at this level. So it's all kind of a bit of a we'll have to see what happens, won't we? Right, let's get the Sunderland formation on there. Let's get back to some degree of normality. Leandrino with an awful pass, and it's put Sunderland in behind us. Jordan Barrett does really well to make the save there. League One goalkeeper, my eye, he's proving his Championship material. He's going to be with us all the way into the Premier League. We all know it. Right, Joey LeBlanc winning a header, saying, look, this is what... Joey LeBlanc, the Patreon superstar. Right, Parnell, playing as the target man today, drops a little deeper, finds Tom White. Can he still cross in the Championship? It looks like he's scared to, because twice he's played it infield, and the third time his cross was awful. No stage fright from you, Tom. We need you to be an assist machine again, like you have been for the last 2 years. Cross comes in, Joey LeBlanc heads clear. Jordan Barrett again with another fantastic save. And Madehali what can he do? Nothing at all because the highlight ends. We're slowly tumbling down the league as other teams go in the league. It was quite nice starting the season first place. I get used to being alphabetically high up the league. Also in this league as well, you can see them sort of behind me now if I get out of the way. Ipswich and Posh both in this division with us. So we have some massive games coming up as this season goes on, and Ipswich have had an absolute fire sale over the summer. They must have sold £60 million off of player and have spent a load of cash as well. So they could go one of two ways. They could absolutely storm this league and go straight back up again, or they could take a long time to gel and end up either struggling or just sort of becoming a mid-table Championship team again, like they were 15, 20 years ago, when old Pops went in and took over and worked his magic on them. Never made it to legend at a club though, did he? Exactly. Right, going into half-time. I mean, remember, we're away from home against what is a big club in Sunderland. We're not fully match fit because we completely messed up pre-season, didn't play enough games, had too many trialists in and didn't get enough games under people's belts. So fitness is a massive problem. So to be 0-0 at half-time, I'm pretty happy with that. I could live with the game ending 0-0. I don't expect it to because I mean we're playing a completely brand new experimental defence and a League One keeper. So, you know, if we manage to not concede a goal, that'd be ridiculous. White tried. That was a better cross from Tom White this time, but Sunderland are breaking on us again, and we are a bit slow at the back. We've got a lot of old men in there, and we've given them space to shoot, and they've gone 1-0 up. We made it 10 minutes into the second half before conceding our first ever Championship goal. We'll have a sip of delicious Coke Zero to try and rejuvenate the energy levels and get a goal back, because obviously that's what we need to do now. Where's my beverage? Delightful. Right, whose fault is this? I mean, we had 3 players on him. If it's anyone's fault, I guess you have to put the blame on Jordan Barrett there, because it wasn't... I mean, I guess it was quite well placed, but it wasn't an unstoppable shot. The defenders, I guess they were sort of in the right place, but not getting the interception in. John Jones sprays it out to Jennings, but he hit it far too hard, and Jennings did well to keep it in play, but probably should have just let it go out because it put us under pressure that he kept it in and then didn't keep the ball. John Durant's picked up a knock. He's going to need to come off. Captaining the side today. Odd for a low knee, but remember, he's been here for 2 years now. So I've got no qualms with making him captain. He is a born leader, but he needs to come off because he's taken a knock. So Connor Key's going to come on and play in that central midfield role. And then we're going to bring on Semedo for Leandrino, because Leandrino has been rubbish. And Semedo, we all saw at the end of last season that he has got goals in him. And if it's the Semedo that was playing for us in the second half of last season who turns up today, we have a proper striker. Right, Parnell chasing, doesn't quite get there. We head clear. Jones is second to the ball again. That's going to be a problem. We might have to, if we can't find a replacement for him, we might need a bit of a tactical rethink. Jones again with a poor pass to Parnell, and he can't win it. And Sunderland are breaking on us again. And Barrett did well with the initial stop, but old man Tierney, 35 years old, has got an own goal on his debut. This might be the last we ever see of Rob Tierney, because I mean, he's supposed to be there to lend his experience and a cool head to the back, and that was just bobbins. Right, in fact, Tierney's absolutely shattered as well. We need to get him off. Let's bring Patrick Buckle on. We'll stick Joey LeBlanc into the middle because I really like him. He's doing well, so he can go in there as our covering centre-back. Let the other two just be big lumps to head the ball away. We're not getting back into this game, are we? There is work to do. We don't look close to being a championship side at the moment. Don't expect a third promotion on the bounce, folks. It isn't happening. Right, Semedo with a golden chance. It didn't actually go down as a clear-cut opportunity, but it certainly... Oh, it did. There you go. Ticked over in the end. And he'd have scored that last year. I hope we're not going back to old-style Semedo. Now he's made it to the big leagues and got a contract extension. Right. I mean, really, 2-0 away. First game of the season, not a complete disaster. We don't look at the fact that they had 24 shots and we only had 5. That makes it look more of a disaster. God, we were completely outplayed, weren't we? There's work to do. Right, when do we play Ipswich? When do we play Posh? Quite a long while, actually. We're probably going to have another episode before we get onto those games. But back to the drawing board, maybe. But I've got no money to spend because I've already spent it all. We've got no transfer budget left. And we're over our wage budget. And we've used all our loanees. So realistically, we can't do anything other than try and build a tactic out of the players that we've got. And it's probably going to involve not playing John Jones. We'll have to figure something out, won't we? If you've enjoyed that episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.